you mentioned, I was fortunate to meet Ubi Lake in the 1970s in Oslo. But I also bought one of my first LPs. It was a double LP recorded in the late 1960s by Ubi Blake. One was piano solos, and the other one was theater songs, together with the aging Noble SISSLE. And that was my first time hearing, before I went back to their wonderful recordings from the 1920s. Well, they met quite early. They were both born in the 1880s. SISSLE was born in Indianapolis, and Ubi Blake was born in Baltimore. And they met around 1915. And they were part of the musical group around the Clef Club in New York City. A wonderful big orchestra led by a black drummer. Actually, no, he was not a drummer. I forgot what his instrument was actually. But they started to make what you call a musical partnership. And their first song they composed together were It's All Your Fault. And it became a big hit because the big diva of the time, Miss Sophie Tucker, decided to put it on her program, and thereby it became a very big hit. So they got kind of a flying start and continued writing music, and they were planning to do the first black show on Broadway a few years later, but that got stopped because of the First World War starting. But as the war ended, they started together again, and after a few years, the show Shuffle Along became a reality. And this show was the first that was entirely composed, staged, and written by African Americans to be presented on Broadway. So it was a very, very groundbreaking show, and it was the first that kind of introduced, maybe not call it necessarily jazz, but syncopated music into the Broadway shows. Yeah, exactly. So it became very important in that sense, and it was very successful. It ran for 504 performances on Broadway, and artists that were in this show were, for instance, Josephine Baker, and it also helped to launch the career of the great singer Paul Robeson. So here we are with some material from this period, and as we mentioned, we are going to start with It's All Your Fault.
Which very incidentally is something that the late Keith Nichols used to point his finger at me. And he used to say, "Dear boy, it's all your fault."
He did it on a regular. Well, this time it'll be my fault. Yeah. I'll play the intro. Yeah.
Was all your fault. You called me pretty names, and I told you not to do it. You promised that you'd love me, and I find there's nothing to it. And it's all your fault. All your fault. Once I believed in you, baby, then I was glad. Now I'm deceived in you, and now I'm sad. She said my poor heart is aching, it's almost breaking, and it's all your fault. call me pretty names. Look, I told you not to do it. You promised that you'd love me, and I find there's nothing to it, and it's all your fault. Now listen here, Mr. Larsen, it's all your fault. Once I believed in you, baby, then I was glad. Now I'm deceived in you, and now I'm sad. She said my poor heart is aching, it's almost breaking, and it's all your fault.
As I mentioned, it was the first time syncopated music was introduced on Broadway, and I think in this next number you can hear this quite clearly. And jazz was like a new trendy word that young people were talking about everywhere. And here you can hear I'm simply full of jazz.
It's a bit windy today.
That never happened in 1950.
Everybody thinks I'm crazy. They say I've gone plumb mad. Everybody thinks I'm crazy. Lost all the sense I ever had. When they see me shake, it makes them shiver when I do a break. It makes them quiver, but I'm not insane. I'm not to blame. The cause of it all isn't in my brain. Just because I like to do a wiggle in a regular salome style. Just because I like to do a wriggle like on a Hawaiian isle. Cause I kick like a donkey and jump way back. Act like a monkey and I ball the jack. Like Miss Minnie, I do the shimmy. I keep my shoulders shaking till you hear that crack. Just because you hear my feet are shuffling. Just because I act like a rat. Cause I seem a little hazy, I ain't crazy. I'm just simply full of jazz. Jazz, jazz, jazz. I'm just simply full of jazz.
Very cute. only written a few years before Shuffle Along had its premiere in 1921, was it sounds like something that could have been done like a type of barbershop quartet, and it's called Good Night, Angela.
Yes, yes.
Hear that old clock is striking, and July. Suppose it's time I should be hiking, and July. Surely hate to leave you, honey, did I do? Honey child, when you are near me, eyes feel blue. Good night, my Angeline. Farewell, my gal so fine. Leaving time is grieving time, and I hate to part with that baby you're mine. Nighttime was made for loving. It's the right time for turtle doving. Now kisses taste much finer, hugging seems diviner, but I must leave you, honey, 'cause my heart feels funny. Good night, Angeline. Good night, my Angeline. Farewell, my gal so fine. Leaving time is grieving time, 'cause I hate to part with that baby of mine. Nighttime was made for loving. It's the right time for turtle doving. Now kisses taste much finer, hugging seems diviner, but I must leave you, honey, 'cause my heart feels funny. Good night, Angeline.
Are you really?
Yes, I am. We must dedicate this to Harry Evans.
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely this most famous song from Shuffle Along is called I'm Just Wild About Harry. Now, we're not going to talk much about American president elections, but when Harry S. Truman used this in the 1940s as his campaign song, this became an enormous new big hit, and it was actually very good for the aging UB Blake's bank account. Because he had become member of ASCAP, the American Society of Composers and Publishers, to secure his rights.
Yeah.
So this was a very good thing for him. But the show, it was from 1921. I'm Just Wild About Harry. Originally, this was composed as a waltz. And then the theme, I'll play it shortly as a waltz, but the producers of on Broadway said that if you have a black show on Broadway, you cannot have a European sounding waltz. So they were asked to rewrite it. Anyway, I'll first play the waltz and then we get into the more familiar version of the song.
Yeah. Those of you who grew up in the 1960s and 70s in this country will be aware of Steptoe and Son. So you could call it I'm Just Wild About Harry.
He's just wild about me.
I've got to say, I have to say this because when we were putting together this programme, Morten, who is much more knowledgeable about this music than I am, I love it, but Morten has played a lot more of this repertoire than myself. And he came up with this next one, I Wonder Where.
Your sweetie could be?
Yeah, and he sent me a lovely message from sunny Norway. It was absolutely pouring down in England. I sent him one back from damp Tewkesbury. And he said some of these are real tom twisters. So the one we played, I'm Just Simply Full of Jazz, is a real ragtime thing. Now, if you sing ragtime music, it is different from everything you'll ever sing. It's different because it's absolutely hip and with it. And at the time, it was like, I should think it was like the same effect that punk rock had in the 1970s. That passed me by the way. But anyway, so this one, I Wonder Where My Sweetie Can Be, is a real stinker, isn't it? It's a quick one.
Definitely.
Yeah. What do you know about it? Tell me.
I don't.
Apart from
No,
it's
that-
difficult.
Yeah, it's difficult, but I don't know that much about. But this is not from Shuffle Along. That's the point in the repertoire. It came a few years later after the big successful of Shuffle Along. They wrote one other show called Elsie, which was not such successful. But after that came the Chocolate Dandies, which became a series of shows that later Fats Waller would write the music, or James B. Johnson, I think, also. But this was the first of the Chocolate Dandies shows. And this tune comes from there. I Wonder Where My Sweetie Could Be.
It's too early for this one.
Yeah,
Well, I'll play a little. Yes, please do.
Got the dumbest blues that any lovebirdy ever had. See me, I've got it bad. But since my sweetie ran away, why then both night and day, all I can say is I wonder where my sweetie can be. I wonder why she ever left me. I wonder who could have loved her more than I or me. Somewhere of her.
play one more before we get the orchestra on.
Well, we are going to quiet down and you get to enjoy. You've been listening now, I mean, this famous couple were called, of course, Sissel and Blake. And now we've been listening to Larsen and Langham. That's quite have the same ring to it.
Well, I think it could go far.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? But you'll get ready to listen to the beautiful tenor voice of Mr. Langham. Now, in a very important song in a different way. It's called Love Will Find a Way. And this was in a Black Broadway show, the first time one could show love affection between two artists, black artists on the American stage. So it was very important in this sense as well. Love Will Find a Way.
Come dear, and don't let our faith weaken. Let's keep our love fires burning bright. Your love for me is a heavenly beacon, guiding me through love's darkest night. Don't stop minding or from finding, no matter how dark one's path may grow. Fate won't hurry, well don't worry. We'll just keep our hearts aglow. Love will find a way. Those skies now are gray. Love like ours can never be ruled. Cupid's not schooled that way. Try each tear dimmed eye. Clouds will soon roll by. Though fate may lead us astray, my dear, remark what I say. Love will find a way. Clouds will soon roll by. Though fate may lead us astray, my dearie, mark what I say. Love will find a way.
Right into the house. There you go.
thank you, Morten, for preparing some of that music and doing it together. That was really nice. Now here they come, each one of them ready for action. Several of them have done 3 or more lengths of the corridor this morning. Yes. Oh, you found it. Yeah. So we come to part 2 of this set now, and this is really quite a nice little end to this joyous music. I'm sure you've enjoyed these songs because you never hear them, and it's only possibly, because we're here at Whitley Bay, where it is the platform for people to play stuff that's been forgotten, and it is, isn't it? Where would you hear an hour of Roger Walker-Kahn? Where would you hear an hour of that in the world? And so we play these ragtime songs for you. We have this wonderful connection with Eubie Blake and Morten, and we play the songs. It's an honour to sing them. Now we play you 3 songs from the Noble Sissle Sizzling Syncopators. Now Noble Sissle was the partner of Eubie Blake. They worked together, they wrote together, he sang, he was a showman. They came to Europe a few times, and then Noble Sissle came back in 1929, and he came to this very country that we're in now, and he made these recordings. And his band was a show band. Each of them individually could do an act in their own right. Look at these. They're ready for it now. In the Noble Sissle Sizzling Syncopators, there were tap dancers, jugglers, acrobats, and other things. There you go. So we're going to start our little set to Noble Sissle now with a very hot tune. Now, because Noble Sissle's band was a show band, what I mean by that is that they entertained. Do you remember when people used to entertain? Anyway, they used to entertain, and they went out there and they actually put on a show, like the great Louis Armstrong. Every night of his life he put on a show, every night. And this is what Noble Sissle did with his band. And for that reason, you often get, in the past anyway, when I was younger, people would pass by his records because they were not hardcore jazz. It's nonsense. It's brilliant. And anyway, so we're going to start with Kansas City Kitty. Who I think I met once. One, two, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. I see Frisco Kate swinging on that golden gate. When Kansas City Kitty smiles at me, she smiles at me. I see Mama down in the hall. When Kansas City Kitty smiles at me, why she comes from the hill and she shows like a snake. She tries to buffalo.
Thank you, Kansas City Kitty. Now, I must just point out actually at this point, because it's we're obviously, whenever we're here, we're always remembering our lovely friends. And the arrangements that we're playing for this part of the set were written by Keith Nichols and Klaus Jacobi. And they worked together on some of these as well, and they used to swap. But this is both of them gave us these arrangements, which we can just get and use for special sets like this. So thank you for that. So now we play Miranda. Now this is a down-home song. Noble Sissle makes a duck noise on the recording of this. I'm just going to practice it off microphone. There you go. I hope you didn't hear that. I don't need to hear that. Yeah. He actually makes it. I think it's reference to a goosey gander. Now, where I come from in Derbyshire, that's a whole new thing. And we won't go into that. But anyway, we're going to play this song. This is possibly the rarer of the three songs that we're playing. This is called Miranda, and it's a love song to a beautiful lady. It's called Miranda. Like a stop. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. He must go out and win her. Just as dusk has gone low, he came out along the road, and with his old trusty old banjo, you can hear him sing this song. Good evening, Miranda. How you doing this evening? Just say my Miranda. Say how I'm feeling. Well, I feel so sad till you never did. When the bells will chime, can't be glad till I see you sing. Then you'll be back. I'm waiting for Miranda, waiting by this doorway. No use, Miranda, for you to tell me to go away. Cause if I love you deny, like a goosey gander, I'm gonna die on this veranda. Miranda, please don't say no.
folks. Okay, so we're going to play you one more, and what a great and lovely thing to be able to do these numbers. I'm sure you all know all the gang, but we've got Harry, Richard, and Emma, Charlie, Enrico, Torstein, Richard, Lars, Jean-François, and of course the dynamic duo, Larsen and Langham. Solicitors. You sound like an English solicitors, you know, like or Langham and Larsen and Langham. I think we'll go Larsen and Langham. It sounds more yeah. So now we're going to play you what I would describe as possibly the most famous of the Noble SISSLE recordings. It's a tune called "You Can't Get to Heaven That Way," and it's a down-home revival song. That's what it is, and it's really something, because this one did creep through, and the collectors like this one. And some good stuff. There's a bit of singing from the community choir. Well, actually, the festival chorus. Is that what you just described? From the festival chorus. Thank you, Harry. And but it's actually more like shouting. Now we have an international band, so I've told our wonderful friends from France that they can shout in French. The Norwegians can shout in Norwegian. Yeah. Yes, Charlie, New Orleans, shout in New Orleans.
Yeah, you're right.
Richard, Leytonstone. Okay. I'm going for North Cotswolds. Anyway, you can't get to heaven that way. And it describes the situation that many have found themselves in over the years. But although you may on your bended knee repent your sins on a Sunday, if you misbehave on a Monday, it's all a waste of time. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. The devil on Monday.
Oh, you can't get to heaven, you can't get to heaven that way.
You got one girl Tuesday, another girl on Wednesday.
Oh, you can't get to heaven, you can't get to heaven that way.
If you like me like I like you, we gonna see the light. Why I want you this, I want you all star, I want you every night. Come on, let's go, come on, let's shout hallelujah.
Oh, you can't get to heaven, you can't get to heaven that way.
You got shoes,
I got shoes.
we're gonna heaven, gonna walk in my shoes.
You can't get to heaven that way.
Well, I got song, you got song.
Oh, I got shoes, I got song.
We're gonna heaven, gonna sing my song.
You can't get to heaven that way.
Well, I got rolls, you got rolls.
Oh, I got shoes, I got rolls.
Well, when I get to heaven, gonna strut in my rolls.
You can't get to heaven that way.
Well, I got wings, you got wings.
I got shoes, I got wings.
Now when I get to heaven, gonna fly with my wings.
You can't get to heaven that way.
You can't get to heaven that way.
No.
You can't get to heaven that way. Whoa, whoa, That's great.